Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Tuesday, April 24th, and this is the market overview looking at the Dow, SPX, VIX, TNA, UUP, FXE, GLD, SLV, XOY, XLF, and whatever I'm forgetting. Okay. Well, today was all over the place. It was quite the fight. We had a struggle with Dow 13K. And the Bulls ended up winning by a nose. So really, I mean, candle-wise, there isn't too much to see here. I mean, we still have the short-term moving averages doing damage to the long-term moving averages. We still have the middle Bollinger Band trying to get its cross and lift up the price. Still have the 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. We have the stochastics ticking up, along with the CCI, the RSI. The histogram is still slanting up, something that we've been concerned about. And the MACD is going sideways. So overall, I mean, I've been listening in the daily running thread, expecting a bounce of some type. I was actually expecting it yesterday, but obviously it was not yesterday. It's a little bit up today. Peaked above yesterday's high, which isn't really anything special. I mean, we have 3 in a row here, so it's a little bit. But really, it's this previous peak here that has to be overcome. And it's just kind of a mess at that point, because you have, this peak here, and actually a little tail here. You have the major price consensus level. Then we have the real previous high and the upper price consensus level. So really 3 levels to overcome. It's quite a bit. Doesn't mean it can't be done. Certainly I would expect at least one of them to fall. But, once it gets to that point, then there'll be time to really evaluate. Which isn't to say that the Bears are finished. Because a little counter pop is fine. You could look at this and say, oh, this is a bull flag because, you can draw a line slanting down here. You can draw a line slanting down here. And it's just going down, and then it has to break out of it. That would be fine as well. We have talked about the long-term moving averages, how we want them to be, pretty well weakened and destroyed. So in the next attempt, it will beat them up soundly. After hours today, of course, you have Apple, the big news. We'll get into that in here in a minute or two. And beyond the histogram slanting up, the other reason I think why there should be a pop anytime now is because when I look at the volume, I don't have any new signals really to go off of here, and we have 5 reds. But look how close they are. Dual volume flow. Losing space. Accumulation distribution is so darn high, even if it were to turn green, it's not going to really matter that much, but it could turn green for a little while. It doesn't have too much room to move, so I think that would help limit the extent that it will go up. But the on-balance volume about to turn green, the volume-weighted MACD about to turn green, and the volume price trend running out of space, that could easily turn green in the next few days. So 3 greens in rapid succession, absolutely entirely possible. And that's why I think what I think. Now, like I was saying, though, the Bears are not finished by any stretch of the imagination. SPX much weaker than the Dow today. Still in this little box here. And it has to break out to the upside, or it has to break out to the downside. It's right in the middle. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down. Stochastics mix, CCI up, RSI up, histogram up, MACD down. So very, very different signal here. Or indication, I should say. Almost neutral. Maybe the Apple thing will allow this to break out as well, but it's having a much rougher time than the Dow. CompQ, the NASDAQ, the weakest by far, ending with a spinning top, almost kissing the lower Bollinger Band. 14-day RSI moving average down, stochastics down, CCI up, RSI sideways, MACD histogram down, MACD down, unattractive, and almost kissing the low that was made yesterday on Monday. Short-term moving averages have not emerged from the other side of the long-term moving averages, but you know, they've been saying on TV that most of this drop has been caused by Apple. Apple being 2/3 of the weighting of the entire NASDAQ, which is ridiculous and stupid, but regardless, that is what it is. And Apple now above $600 again in the after hours after a huge earnings beat. So will this turn around tomorrow? Yes, it will. How far is it going to go? I am not sure. Can it get all the way up to the major price consensus level, test it, maybe even break it? I don't know. But certainly, going back up to 600, the most recent time on Apple we've had 600 was 3 days ago. And if you count back on the NASDAQ, 1, 2, 3, yes, it could do it tomorrow, especially if there's follow through on Apple above 600. So something to be watching out for, and it is what it is. Going on to the VIX, ugly day for the VIX. Big nasty red candle. Still have a little bit of this gap to fill. We're talking in the intraday, the daily running thread, about the need for filling that gap, which would be another 60 cents or so to the downside, which would not be the end of the bears. Filling that gap, you're still in the long-term moving averages. All that you don't want to see at this moment is a fail and the short-term moving averages fall out of the bottom. That would be a awful indication for the bears. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking up, even with today and yesterday's awful candles. And we've been watching this one and saying, oh, this one is really high. It's a warning sign, potentially, and we don't like that. But it's still pointing up. Stochastics mix down on the CCI, down on the RSI, down on the histogram, down on the MACD itself. XOI, oil. When the market is bullish, oil is bullish, or vice versa, whichever way you want to look at it. And today, yes, it moved up a little bit. It got an uptick. Uptick gives us a target right at the 200-day moving average, just shy of it. Might as well just count it as the 200-day moving average. So we can look forward to a retest of that. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, stochastics on the way up, CCI up, RSI up, histogram up, MACD up, looking for a bullish cross, and that will be good for the bulls. So the question being, after all of this headache at the 200-day moving average, will it be able to break it this time? I'm not sure. Resolving that uptick, frees it up to go whichever direction it wants. Could go through it, could bounce away from it again. We certainly have a new floor to deal with, so a retest of a new floor or a new high at least once is typical. So very, very interesting. TNA, yep. We're talking about that very nicely formed hammer on last night's video, almost getting to the 200-day moving average. Got a slight uptick today, giving us a target of about 56.50 roundabout. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down. Stochastics up, CCI up, RSI up, histogram up, and MACD sideways. What if we look at the volume on this sucker? See if there's anything that we can get from that. Well, there's 4 reds. there's one green that is pretty precarious, but we're running out of room on the unbalanced volume, we're running out of room on the volume weighted MACD, and we're only going to continue to run out of room, although there's much more of it, on the dual volume flow and the volume price trend. So if we were to get two more greens and this one's able to maintain, then we'll have three greens, and yes, there could be a move up, especially since we've already tagged this floor, this new floor, and they're bouncing off of it. Fat body spinning top with an uptick target. Yes, there could be easily some follow through tomorrow. Okay, we'll just go to the fun stuff, or maybe not fun stuff. Apple. Small spinning top before earnings. There are 5 reds as we're getting across right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And huge, it's already above 600 in after hours. So that is, that's there. It's going to completely change the way that this chart looks. It's going to look like it came in for a test of the long-term moving averages and is bouncing off. And yeah, that's bullish. What effect is it going to have on the volume? We won't know until tomorrow. And looking at the 14-day RSI moving average, it's still pointing down. Stochastics are still pointing down. CCI is ticking up. RSI is down. Histogram's down. MACD's down. A lot of this is going to change tomorrow. So we'll have to see what it looks like at that point. But certainly the stochastics are going to turn around. CCI is going to point up some more. RSI may turn around. I don't think that the 14-day RSI moving average will take damage yet, since it'll just be one day, but certainly the MACD histogram is going to turn, the MACD histogram will tick up. The MACD itself, we'll have to see what kind of angle it has. But yeah, total game changer. GE, trying to get a better read on the Dow. Massively strong, almost getting to its previous ceiling here. And not far away from breaking it out. Any kind of enthusiasm tomorrow, and this is gone. Stochastics on the way up, CCI on the way up, RSI on the way up, histogram on the way up, MACD on the way up, looking for a bullish cross. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down, getting above the lower price consensus level today. And this was a totally different candle than the Dow yesterday. A little doji star. What was the point of that? There was a point a moment ago, and now it eludes me. UUP, the dollar. Yep, gap down, red day, almost getting the 200-day moving average, peaking below this previous low that we have. Breaking that should not be overly difficult. If we do, we have this floor here and this floor here, both of which, if we get to, will break the 200-day moving average. Stochastics mildly down due to the slow. 14-day RSI moving average still pointing up. CCI down, RSI down, histogram down, MACD down. Yeah, we should be testing one of these previous floors. 200-day moving average will be the tell, and that is good for bulls. If this 14-day RSI moving average loops over, oof, watch out, bears. FXE, the euro. Ooh, almost a gravestone doji near the top of this recent action. Not a good sign for the euro. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics mixed. Up on the CCI, up on the RSI, up on the histogram, barely up on the MACD, looking for a bullish cross. Pretty darn mixed. I don't really like this chart. Yeah, it's close to breaking out of this range to the upside. Maybe it can do that tomorrow. It's bumping its head into the upper Bollinger Band. So if it goes up, it should be rough going. I don't really like this chart. GLD, a move up and red on the day. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. What did I just call that? Middle Bollinger Band ticking up. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics mixed, up on the CCI, up on the RSI, down on the histogram, sideways on the MACD. I don't like this chart either. This is just a mess. You have essentially a box here, and it's right in the middle. You don't have any really good indications in any way. SLV. Outside the lower Bollinger Band yesterday, we were expecting it to pop up to get out of it. It's exactly what it did, ending with a fat body spinning top. Stochastics, 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, CCI up, RSI up, histogram down, MACD down, also not attractive. Breaking out of this little box to the downside, not a good thing. Red on the day. Worse than gold. And these two just jump back and forth, don't they? Better than gold one day, not as good as gold the other day. I don't really care for it. But if it wants to get down to 20 bucks or whatever, I'll be happy to buy it. Moving on to XLF, financials. And we were playing the financials with FAS today. It was listed in the daily running thread, and that one closed green for us, and in the after hours is up more than $1, so nicely green, and a very nice candle closing at its highs, which FAS came close but not quite as good as XLF. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down still. Stochastics up, CCI up, RSI up, histogram sloping up, and MACD going sideways. Not a bad looking chart. Looking at its volume, what do we have to play with? We have 1 green and 4 reds. Ugh, that doesn't look that good. Well, it's kind of deceiving because the primary 3 were way back here and would have already been stopped out. And what do we have in the area of new signals? Well, not too much room with the volume weighted MACD. It's about to get a green arrow on balance volume, and that'll be enough for 3. And normally you get a pretty good move when you get 3. So if this continues to be positive for the next couple of days, I do expect that to transpire. And if that transpires, then who knows? It might be something similar to this. But we'll have to wait and see. VXX. Once again, not really tracking VIX perfectly. I guess proportionately it didn't do too bad today, but have this previous floor here right at 1757. That would probably correspond with a gap fill move with the VIX. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up, CCI down, stochastics down, RSI down, MACD histogram sloping down, ticking down, and the MACD itself ticking sideways. And if I blow this up some, at least the 14-day RSI moving average has more room than VIX does, but still, not really pretty. What else can I look at? What else can I look at? I guess that's going to be it for tonight. So overall, not a bad day for the bulls whatsoever, and tomorrow will be very interesting. The end of the FOMC meeting, see if Benny can either juice the market or tank it, and see what effect Apple has on essentially everything. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.